Hello, Lights Out Ace here. I've been gone for a while. I was on vacation for the last week, but now I'm back, and today I'm going to play a few games with Neon's Felnscar control deck. He wrote about it in an article a couple weeks ago, and then Ilya K used it to win the ETS tournament that weekend 2 weeks ago. And people have been having some trouble with it. It's very hard to play, and it's very unforgiving, so that's understandable. So hopefully I'm able to make some cool plays some people would have missed and win some games with it. So going over the deck, it's basically the Feln control base, Withering Witch, Black Sky Harbinger, and it has that's like the sweeper, and then it has a bunch of spot removal spells: Annihilate, Death Strike, Vara's Favor, Feln Bloodcaster to hold the ground down early and be card advantage late game, and then it splashes in fire for Torch, which is great against Rakano and other aggro decks that populate the ladder, and Statuary Maiden, which is just a massive beating that single-handedly wins the game against Shimmer Pack as long as you don't attack it into their Scorpion Wasps. And this also helps a lot against Rakano because no matter how big their Aegis units are, they still die to Deadly. So let's jump into a few games here. Okay, so we have all of our influence. We do not have triple shadow or triple fire for this champion, but we have Bloodcaster into champion, and Seek Power can help us find whichever one we draw the second of first, so that this champion will be a 4/4. So I'd say this is well, actually no, we need to Seek for Shadow on turn 2, but Shadow is the more important one to have. Deadly is much better than Overwhelm when your deck is defensive and not aggressive in nature. And also, there's just way more shadow sources than fire sources in this deck. Like, Champion is a 5/5 very rarely in the early game. Alright, so get our second shadow for the Bloodcaster here. This might be the mirror. Or not. One is something a little more aggressive. I wish I had a torch for that guy, but I'll have to make do with annihilating it. Probably on a later turn, though. Like, it's not a threat right now. If they suffocate this and smash in and then have another removal spell for Steward, then we took a lot of damage, but all of our units invalidate this. Right, I'm not going to block for fear of torch. Because our opponent gets the 1-for-1 our far superior unit. If they 2-for-1 against the Steward, I'm fine with that now. And we just do Torch. So a couple options here. We can Torch that. We can attack and try to bait the block and Torch that. Or we can hold up Annihilate and Death Strike. So I actually kind of want them to attack with this Bloodcaster, and then we both Torch our things. Trading resources favors me when I'm low on power and just have all spells in hand. So taking the defensive posture is definitely what I want to do here. It's just a matter of whether I want to try and bait that attack by not playing Steward or whether I want to play Steward. And since my power will not go to waste, like I have a bunch of fast spells I can play either way, I'm just going to end turn here and hope to bait them into a bad attack. And they take the bait, so let's trade off Bloodcasters here. I'm not going to be able to activate mine for a long time. Yep, okay. Well, I guess I should have torched first. So. Oh no, I'd rather just them take one and not have each of us take one here. Yep, so they torch this. Oh, they are even more power light than we are. Okay. Alright, they just have nothing. Let's go on the beatdown plan. There are no sweepers short of 5 and 6 power, 5 or 6 power in Felnscar, so I am free to just extend here as long as they're a long ways away from casting Withering Witch. And I'm playing this instead of Champion because if they play I want to Death Strike and get a Cudgel. But that is not to be. Alright, well, so we just have a fully powered up Champion here. Let's go on the beatdown plan. they probably have a Death Strike or something, but now even if they draw a Death Strike, they have to use it on this champion. They still can't deploy stuff to block, or we just get the Death Strike and pump our team. And now another way to take out blockers. They can't possibly play enough removal spells on 4 power. Think we have got this game. Torch doesn't kill anything, so I'm safe to act first here. If I had an X3 in play, I would have to wait until my turn, permafrost that, then if they try to use a removal spell in response to get a cudgel or something. And we take the game against the power screwed opponent with a clunky hand. So traditionally the weakness of Feln control is against Rakano aggro, and to a lesser degree Shimmer Pack. Like, you have a lot of sweepers for Shimmer Pack, but if they draw multiple obelisks, every random dork they draw in the late game is just a huge threat, and you get ground out. But Statuary Maiden really helps against both of those problems. So I think this is definitely an upgrade to traditional Feln control. Alright, really power heavy. Have to hope to draw a cheap unit to block here. And we're only short on fire, all our influences we need, so just gonna search out a power right away. Huru banner. So it might be TJP control. It might be Ikaria blue. Which would be nice for us as long as they don't have a Sword of Ikaria. Which not all Ikaria blueless play, but like this hand is obviously extremely vulnerable to a relic weapon, which they thankfully do not have. And my Kingdom for a Wisdom of the Elders here. This is one of those matchups where you want to wait until 10 to play your Feln Bloodcasters. Okay, so we have a Staff of Stories. On 5 power, are there any relic weapons that kill staff straight up? I don't think so. So I need to have like relic weapon plus torch to kill this, so I'm just gonna go for it. Like, we just have so much do nothing in our hand that we need to be sort of risky to try and win this game. They just have their own staff. Alright, well, that's extremely difficult for us to deal with, but at least that means they're not equipping a relic weapon and attacking us. And I'm not going to bother running this out. Like, a 1-4 is a negligible amount of pressure on a 5 armor weapon, and they have tons of removal, so it's not going to stick around. So we're just both going to sit here drawing cards, which I think favors us as we have the weaker hand. The matchup as a whole, I would not say is terrible. Like, even Ikaria gives us issues without any Scorpion Wasps. But this specific situation is better for us than could otherwise be. Of course, they don't know that we have nothing. Oof. Yep, that's happening. Don't even have a Death Strike. So we have Withering Witch Lightning Storm. We have no way to pop the Aegis. This is brutal. Okay, so what can I draw? Death Strike, Vara's Favor. Alright, so of all my removal spells, this is the redundant one. Any other removal spell will work with the Witch. So I'm just going to play the Lightning Storm to pop the Aegis, so no matter what, I'll have enough power to Witch, or like Witch plus Vara's Favor or whatever. But yeah, this game is about 90% lost. But you never know. We could rip a Bloodcaster, steal a 18/18 Sword of the Sky King from the top of their deck. Bloodcaster is oftentimes hilarious against Warcry. Check out my Twitter, @LightsOutAce, shameless plug. I post funny screenshots from time to time, and one of them is my Feln Bloodcaster stealing my opponent's 8/8 Icaria and crushing them with it. Okay, well, that's just overkill. Yep. Alright, we're dead. And, like, our draw was poor that game, but Icaria Blue is just a fundamentally disadvantaged matchup. Like, they have enough removal for all of our threats, and they just have really, really hard to interact with relic weapons. Like, to make that favorable, you need to sideboard in a whole pack of Lightning Strikes, Rain of Frogs, Sabotage. You just, like, need to get out the relic weapons at all costs. And then, even then, they can just top deck them and kill you. So it's very, very bad. Likewise, Armory is a pretty abysmal matchup for Felnscar. Fortunately, neither of those decks are very popular. Well, I mean, we have a lot of powerful cards, but not enough power to deploy them in a timely manner, so we're going to ship it. That's kind of the awkward thing about this deck. Like, generally, your control decks, you want to draw your sweeper in your opening hand, right, so you can catch up. But when your sweeper is a 2-card combo that costs 5 and 6, you can't really keep that in your opening hand because it's just too slow, and you're either not going to have enough early interaction, or if your hand does have enough early interaction, you're not going to have enough power. And I'm going to wait a turn on these Var's Favors, because, like, I don't need the power because I'm going to play Wisdom on 3 and likely have plenty of stuff to do. And, like, I'm not going to Var's Favor this one that doesn't do anything. Like, I'd rather use my power efficiently. Ouch. Alright. So Seraph is fine. We have Permafrost for that. We just don't want to see a Titan, as we don't have an answer to Titan currently. Okay, well, the plan now is to set up and protect a Staff of Stories. So we're just going to murder everything. And they're likely not Combre aggro, since they played a Temple Scribe. It's not a very aggressive card. So maybe they just won't have a unit here. They'll just have, like, Vanquishes and stuff. Well, there goes that plan. Okay, so we're just gonna sit around here and take some beats while we wait for an answer to this Titan to materialize. And we have plenty. 4 Annihilates, 4 Death Strikes, 5 Deadly Creatures. Oh boy, Withering Wood should be great here. Alright, so do I want to play this Harbinger? It doesn't match up particularly well here, and I don't have another sweeper if I draw a Witch, so I'm just going to hold it. Alright, Statuary Maiden is nice. So I can play that and trade with a Titan. Oh, even better. I can play that Var's Favor 1/1 and then cudgel up. So if they Valk Reinforcer this, it no longer kills a Titan, but at least it can block it. And they can't Valk Reinforcer plus Xenon Obelisk, given their power deficiency. And even Vanquish doesn't kill me here. I'll just go to 1. Then I can play Blacksite Harbinger and jump for another turn. Really? Just nothing. Well, we can Staff, which will just die no matter what, and they probably have Desert Marshal. Or we can Blacksite Harbinger, which basically does nothing. Not great options. I think I play this just so I don't randomly die. They likely Desert Marshal this. Well, they probably should have done that on their turn. Oh, Scorpion Wasp. Okay, that's fine. Yep. Alright, we're going to 4. I can Bloodcaster Staff and double chump block. Which is not particularly great. I don't see what other options we have available. Alternatively, I could let the staff die to keep one of these around, which accomplishes letting me ultimate this. I have to draw a card from the top of their deck in addition to the top of mine, but then I wouldn't be able to cast a Death Strike or a Witch if I draw it. So this is not a particularly valuable unit. Yeah, I think I'll just block one of them. Yeah. Get on 3. Not great. So we can block a Titan, go to 6, torch this, still die. Yeah, so we're dead if they attack with everything. Yeah, we're okay. Welp, we tried. We fought the good fight. We just didn't draw removal for Titan. Sandstorm Titan is a good card. Our equivalent is Steward of the Past, and we didn't draw one of those. Yeah, I mean, you don't normally just get bowled over by Double Titan like that. Like I said, you do have 12, 17, 20 ways to remove it. It's not generally a huge problem. Well, we do not have any Primal, so I think we can do better than this. The redraw is free. Oh, yeah. A little slow, but any Sigil will get that going, and even if we're deploying a turn behind, we have plenty of interaction. Amber Monument, so probably Combre Aggro, Shimmer Pack. Oh, is this the same guy we played before? Alright, that's a nice target for this Vara's Favor we're going to cast anyways. And we can sort of disguise our situation a little. No, wait, we have to... No, yeah, that's fine. We have to seek for Primal. Just so they don't know we have an extra power in hand. Pretty minor. Likely not to matter. I know what, I did still do it in the reverse order, because I needed to play the second Primal for Wisdom. Just always play your seats first. Any information you're hiding isn't worth it. Okay, nice. We get to Wisdom plus Torch something. Feels good. Torch the Flyer, play Bloodcaster, and then Staff. The only thing that would have prevented me from doing that was if I had drawn a Lightning Storm. And yeah, right, super punished for trying to be cute. Although unless he plays Titan, I wasn't going to annihilate here anyways. Wump. Well, okay, I guess I was going to annihilate. I just don't want to get scouting partied. That comes before all else. Alright, that's fine. Still nothing can attack through this Bloodcaster. An Obelisk would be kind of bad for us. I don't think it would induce a Withering Witch yet. Okay, so now if I Staff, they can swing with everything. I eat a thing, but it dies. So I'm just gonna annihilate something here. Feels kind of bad to spend 2 rule spells on Marison's Disciple, but keeping a staff in play is worth it. It's going to take them a couple turns to get through it, and we're going to be able to deploy units and removal spells all the while. Oh boy. Alright, we got 8 sweepers. We need one right now. Sigh. Alright, so we're gonna let this die and just kill off as many Yetis as possible. Oh god. Well, this is why Shimmer Pack is a good deck. Sometimes you don't have it and they just have double obelisk. My god. Are we actually just dead here? Six, 12, 22? No, not quite. Alright, now it has to be exactly Lightning Storm. And even then we're dead to like Scouting Party. Alright. Classic example of there are no wrong threats, only wrong answers. We had Spot Removal, not Lightning Storm. They had Scouting Party. If I had played my power correctly, I would have had one more draw off the staff. But considering it was just a Statuary Maiden, it wouldn't have mattered. Obvious redraw, just 1 power. Okay, we need to draw power here, but we're on the draw. Ooh, maybe they're playing Bandit Queen, and this Lightning Storm is gonna get them. I hope they play Jito, another 1-drop, and then just slam down a Lurking Sanguar. Nope. Okay, so they're likely just Stone Scar Burn, so I can use Lightning Storm just to prevent 4 damage here. Which I think I will do. So I have plays the next several turns, so I'm not going to be able to play that Lightning Storm for a while. So I might as well just prevent a bunch of damage. Because the first Bloodcaster is likely to die, so I'd take at least 4 from that Pyro Knight. I do not have double primal for these wisdoms yet. But that's not an issue. I mean, you want to play card draw last after you've played your board impacting cards. And I have several turns worth of board impacting cards left. So you might have Torch here, so I'll just no blocks and then double block next turn. Now, even if he has Torch, I'm 2 for 1-ing him. Or not. At least I get the block here, though. At least that Obliterate was not pointed at my face. Okay, so I could Permafrost this, but I would rather Permafrost something with an Entomb effect, like Umbran Reaper or Soulfire Drake. However, those units would likely die to a sweeper later and trigger their Entombs. And Permafrosting lets me get in for 2 and hold up Death Strike, which is just so efficient. I'm going to do that. You do need to put a clock on burn, or it's going to burn you out. Alternatively, you can just draw Blackside Harbinger, and then if they don't have a big burn spell for it, they die. Alright, yeah. Clean Death Strike target. Well, I guess I would have liked to Permafrost that and drain him for 1 a turn. Okay. That's the sort of thing we need. Put on some pressure, force them to Flame Blast our units. Uh-oh, if they have 2 big burn spells now, though, they can just go face. Alright, well, that signals that their last card is not, in fact, a burn spell, which is great. Now we're really missing that primal. Alright, as long as I keep drawing power, we're okay. And once we draw a primal, we are in business. There we go. So next turn I'm just going to Wisdom, not activate Bloodcaster, so the turn after that I can activate Bloodcaster while holding up Torch. Oof, that is a 6/5. No opportunity for Torch. Beautiful. We also have Withering Witch plus Torch, which is hard removal on anything. We want to leave Shadow Sigils in our deck in case we draw Vara's Favors. Alright, their last card is Power. Steal Flame Blast. Pyro Knight is not terrible. I'm actually going to play that. If they rip a Drake, it doesn't kill us. And now we are only one off lethal. Do a Torch. There goes our dreams of a 6/5. Just keep plugging away. We are one Flame Blast from death now. That's fine. That's exactly what I want to see you draw. Get a bonus point of damage off the Instigator. Alright, gotta dodge Flame Blast for 2 turns. Beautiful. Oh, nice. Okay, so attack with both here for sure. If he doesn't chump block, he is dead. I guess he was alive if he jump blocked. I didn't do the math. Playing kind of fast and loose, but regardless, we got there. We managed to fade the Flame Blast. Alright, we'll play 1 or 2 more games here. I'm having fun. I like this deck. As I've said before, I play because I love drawing cards, and we have Wisdoms, we have Feln Bloodcasters to draw off the opponent's deck, we have Staff of Stories to draw cards every turn. The Duck. Not just any old duck, the Duck. It says it has 1 removal spell and something that doesn't impact the board, so our opponent plays 2 units before turn 5. We're in bad shape, so I think we can do better. This is much better. Any hand with Bloodcaster just feels so good. Like, a 3-cost 2/5 does so much work on the board. Oh, strangely we had managed to dodge Rakano up to this point. No longer. Okay, hopefully they play something besides a Crown Watch Paladin this turn so we can annihilate it. Or a Champion of Glory. I deserve that. I have the 3rd power already, so I'm not going to seek it. I'm going to leave up Annihilate. The first Bloodcaster is just going to get killed by a Torch or a Finest Hour anyways. And what I mean by that is I can't counter playing that and then blocking 2 units. I'd rather annihilate something. Same reason as I used that Lightning Storm to kill the Pyro Knight on turn 2 in the last game. These aggro decks can usually clear out your first blocker or 2 pretty easily. But sometimes they just don't have follow-up, and that's great. So he has a Torch. So normally I would not block and wait till I could re-trick with this Annihilate. But I can't Annihilate this. However, with 4 power, I'm not really slowing their development by forcing them to spend 1 power. And this doesn't have Warcry, so I'm okay just taking 3 here. It's not making their future draws better. Valkyrie Enforcer. So I can Annihilate the Valk. Or I can play another Bloodcaster. And even though my double block isn't going to work, because this is either going to get pumped or this is going to get torched. So I'll only deal 2 damage back to it. So next turn I could play Bloodcat. Well, I'm going to play one of those two, so I'll be able to play both. Yeah, I'm just going to Annihilate. Maybe if he doesn't play another unit, next turn I can deploy the staff and block, and then they have to use their trick while leaving my staff intact, which is great for me. And again, I'll just take 3 here. Rakano doesn't have very much reach, so you're fine going down to 10 or so. Once you're in the single digits, it gets a little bit hairy, because they could have like Torch plus Soulfire Drake or something. But yeah, I feel pretty good about Staff of Stories and then block here. It still forces them to use a card. If they have double torch, well, our staff basically countered 2 torches. So by waiting until now, I'm able to get this trick out at an opportune time for us, buying me a turn with the staff. Well, you cannot permafrost those guys. Alright, so I'm just going to play Harbinger here. The interesting thing now is if they attack with the 3/3. If they do that, I'm going to respect the trick and not block and just like sort of pseudo race. Okay, yeah. So, alright, well the thing here is if I do block this, they have to use the trick here, and the staff lives and I get to draw another card. And like Withering Witch is what I really want. Otherwise I'm wasting 7, so I'd be taking 4 each turn and dealing 3. So I'm losing that race, but I have all these other cards. And they clearly don't have any more units. Their last card is probably a unit plus a torch. I think I do block that, actually. You have to decide between killing my Harbinger or my staff. Alright, well that's a little bit better than your average trick. Okay, well I have to let the staff die now. They don't have any more tricks. They'd be attacking with this snap attacking. So I can chump off a Bloodcaster in order to draw another card. If I take 6, I go down to 14. You know, maybe I do want to just block this. Like spending 7 to draw a couple cards isn't particularly appealing for me because I'm not going to be stealing a Warcry thing because they literally have not Warcried this whole game. But they just have all endurance units and I have this Permafrost and Annihilate. Alright, there's the Withering Witch. Alright, feeling good now. So I think I chump with this just to preserve health. This is 13 damage, yeah. And I don't care that their health is absurdly high. Like, eventually I'll just stick a Harbinger and kill him. Oh geez, no protect, please. Oh, and you're supposed to lightning storm first. You're like, no, this is gonna get torched. Fine, Steiner. Okay. Yeah. So if you lightning storm first, they can't find a Steiner there. I feel pretty good about skipping that thing up. An abundance of witches. Yeah, very important to lightning storm first there. I just kind of assumed they had nothing and was autopiloting, which is very bad. Don't do that. I'm gonna save the third witch here. They don't have removal spells that kill this. Either of these. Like, they have Vanquish and Torch. There we go. Time to get aggressive. Only 24 more turns of this, baby. Even Annihilate if they have a Soulfire Drake. Wow, that happened a little sooner than I would have preferred. I have to start leaving stuff back for potential charging threats. Should I leave back both? Yeah, I'll leave back both. Again, they have no war cries. If they're drawing like Crown Watch Paladin, they can't attack into this. Alright, so how much card draw do we have left in our deck? A Bloodcaster and 4 Wisdoms. Alright, well that's just great. We're going to start attacking with that next turn. And never putting a Cudgel on it because I don't want it to get vanquished. Accelerate the clock. The obvious vanquish. Death Strike's great. If they play a unit, I'm gonna Death Strike and then put the Cudgel on this Withering Witch, so that it continues to dodge vanquish. Flying. Flying? Oh, okay. So I think I'm just gonna Witch Storm. Alright, here you actually do have to Witch first, because it's popping Aegis. And there was no pause there, so I don't have to worry about them torching my Statuary Maiden. Alright, time to get a little aggro here. Only 4 more turns. Chopped him down from 48 health this game. They might just concede before we actually get all the way there. Normally, you don't want to hold your power in this deck because you could draw a Wisdom into a Found Bloodcaster or something, but I just want to like be showing strength so my opponent maybe concedes and saves me some time. Well, they're not buying it. As you can see, our opponent's health doesn't really matter once we establish control. It takes a while to chip away. This is getting vanquished again. Later, cha-cha. Alright, that speeds up our clock by a turn. Like, our opponent might complain they got flooded, but they drew 31 cards. It's pretty natural that they'd draw 13, 14 power. Alright, well, they gained some health, but we still have exact lethal here. Well played indeed. And that sort of inevitability is also why I wasn't in a hurry to attack with those Withering Witches earlier on. I'd rather just, like, keep back so that they can't get free war cries off of their charging Crown Rush Paladin if they Druid, for example. Alright, I'm gonna play one more game. House! I really wish I had one more power. One more power and I'd actually keep this Withering Witch Black Sky hand just because, like, this takes care of any early game nonsense. But on the play with only 2 power, I'm just too afraid that I'll get screwed. And this hand is nice. Like, you got a Bloodcaster. Ooh. Is our opponent perhaps playing some sort of Feln control? It looks like it, so I actually don't want to play this Bloodcaster. Save it till 10 power. I know that that's many turns away. Never mind, they are Haunting Scream. Well, in that case, Permafrost is about the best place for a Gorgon Fanatic to be. I mean, I'm gonna kill it with Lightning Storm earlier, but with Lightning Storm later, but hopefully I can get a Maiden or a Steward down by then. These cards are, especially Steward, is just so punishing against Scream. Alright. I'm gonna play Bloodcaster instead of Lightning Storm because they always play 4 Haunting Screams and they don't always play 4 Levitates. Yeah, so he's just putting this into the Void because he has a Haunting Scream. And then we're just gonna hose the crap out of him. I guess there's that too. But get hosed. Like, even though this is gonna get annihilated or Death Striked or Feeding Timed or something. Oh, Recurring Nightmare. Alright. So, Recurring Nightmare is kind of a tempo black hole, though. Like, they have to spend multiple turns playing that Recurring Nightmare and not impacting the board before it gets to enough damage to threaten us, at which point we're going to Death Strike it. Like, hopefully they play Nightmare again here, hit me for 2, whatever, and then I hold up Death Strike next turn. Also, last time I played this Maiden before attacking so that I didn't get a pause, so they didn't know that I had Death Strike. It's kind of using the priority system to your advantage. Here they're going to know, but maybe I was able to click through fast enough that they won't notice. Alright, yeah, this is just the game here. They spent 9 power to deal 3 damage and give us a cudgel. The game's over. I don't have to fear Vanquish, so I'm just going to cudgel up this. Yeah, okay. They knew it. Alright, well, there's some games of Felnscar control. I had some fun. Hope you learned something from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do. And I hope you had fun watching. See you next time.